Self-driving cars will destroy cities. The buzz around self-driving cars has reached a fever pitch over the last decade. Headlines promise a future where autonomous vehicles effortlessly whisk people around congested urban centers, eliminating traffic jams, drastically reducing accidents, and freeing up valuable city space. The vision is enticing: safer streets, cleaner air, accessible mobility for everyone, and cities transformed for pedestrians and cyclists, not cars. As with many tech revolutions, the reality is messier than the hype. AVs may worsen congestion, sprawl, and economic decline despite bold promises. Remember to subscribe for more videos like this. Let's continue. The technology is real, but still far from ready. First off, yes, self-driving cars exist. They aren't just science fiction. Companies like Waymo and Cruise operate robotaxi fleets in cities such as San Francisco and Phoenix, allowing users to summon driverless cars via apps. But driverless does not mean fully autonomous in the sense most imagine. Current AVs still require frequent human intervention. On average, a remote operator must step in every 4 to 5 miles to navigate around unexpected obstacles, like construction trailers or confusing turns. This shows the fundamental problem. The last 10% of automation, the part where the car needs to handle every unusual or rare situation safely, remains elusive. Unlike humans, AVs are mindless machines. They follow programmed or learned patterns but can get stuck or behave strangely in complex environments. For example, there have been documented cases of Waymo cars driving in circles, honking at each other late at night, or obstructing emergency vehicles like ambulances and fire trucks. One tragic case highlights the grave risks involved. A Cruise robotaxi in San Francisco struck a woman who had already been knocked down by a human-driven car. The robotaxi failed to recognize that the woman was trapped underneath it and dragged her further. This accident, initially covered up by the company, is a chilling reminder that AVs can create new deadly hazards, not just eliminate old ones. Public resistance. The human factor. Despite the technological advances, many urban residents are deeply uncomfortable with AV testing in their neighborhoods. Groups like Safe Street Rebel have documented countless instances of autonomous cars breaking traffic laws, running red lights, blocking intersections, cutting off pedestrians, and parking illegally in bike lanes. Economic and political pressures. Why AVs are pushed so hard. Hundreds of billions of dollars are flowing into AV development. This massive financial pressure pushes companies to prioritize rapid deployment over safety or comprehensive urban integration. Meanwhile, governments and regulatory bodies face lobbying and pressure to accommodate AV companies, leading to a permissive environment that favors rapid rollout. This creates a problematic feedback loop. AV firms push for fewer restrictions, more lenient rules, and less oversight, often at the expense of public safety. The urban design reality. AVs inherit broken roads. One of the biggest blind spots in the AV conversation is the flawed urban infrastructure they operate within. Roads built for speed and vehicle throughput encourage dangerous driving conditions. AVs inherit this unsafe urban fabric, and no amount of fancy sensors can fully compensate for fundamentally hostile environments. Safer streets come from design, not just tech. Research shows that reducing traffic deaths is best achieved through smart urban design, not self-driving cars. Sweden's Vision Zero program proves this by combining lower speed limits, safer street layouts, and strict enforcement, strategies that could cut US fatalities by over 80%. However, these changes require political courage to challenge car-centric priorities and limit vehicle dominance. Autonomous vehicle companies, focused on mass adoption and profit, have little incentive to support pedestrian-first policies. Their business model thrives on more cars, not fewer. Real safety comes from reimagining cities for people, not from outsourcing mobility to machines. The inevitable arrival, and its complex consequences. Despite protests and glaring safety concerns, self-driving cars are likely to become widespread globally. The money and momentum behind them make this almost inevitable. But it's naive to assume AVs will magically fix congestion, enhance safety, or be seamlessly integrated with human-driven vehicles and pedestrians. While AVs may statistically reduce some accident types, they will introduce new risks, unexpected accidents, and new traffic patterns that planners do not yet fully understand. The American car culture lock-in, and its global effects. American cities are heavily car-centric. Even walkable cities like San Francisco prioritize cars far more than many European cities. AVs are trained using millions of miles of American driving data, embedding these driving patterns and cultural norms into their brains. Expecting these vehicles to adapt effortlessly to denser, pedestrian-heavy European or Asian cities is unrealistic. Training over programming, the hidden danger. Self-driving cars are mostly trained on historic driver behavior, not explicitly programmed for every scenario. If cities want to implement pedestrian-friendly changes, reducing car lanes, prioritizing transit, or creating car-free zones, AV companies must retrain their fleets to adapt, an expensive and politically fraught process. This creates a lock-in effect. Cities become constrained to maintain car-centric streets to keep AVs functional, hampering efforts to redesign urban environments for sustainability and livability. The myth of reduced cars and parking. Some advocates claim AVs will reduce the number of cars and parking demand, freeing up space. In reality, human behavior is stubborn. Most people prefer owning and parking their own cars rather than sharing robotaxis all day. Without strong pricing mechanisms like parking fees or road use charges, AVs will likely cruise empty around urban centers, adding to congestion and occupying valuable curb space. Additionally, AVs may not serve disabled or elderly populations well, who often require physical assistance and may not have smartphones or credit cards to book rides, worsening congestion and sprawl, the induced demand effect. History teaches us that making travel cheaper or easier encourages people to travel more. More roads lead to more traffic. Ride-hailing services like Uber and Lyft initially reduce costs due to subsidies but eventually raise prices to maximize profits, with vehicle miles traveled rising as a result. AV robotaxi fleets, subsidized and convenient, will amplify this trend, increasing congestion. They may also encourage suburban sprawl, as people live further from urban centers and commute longer distances, spending more time in their vehicles. The ghost town effect. Faster car traffic kills street life. A cautionary tale comes from Bamberg, Germany. After a construction project was completed to improve car traffic flow downtown, congestion improved. But within a few years, every shop closed and the area became a ghost town. Why? Because people don't want to linger on cramped sidewalks next to fast-moving cars. The future of streets, hostile to pedestrians and cyclists. As AVs proliferate, fences and barriers may be erected to protect pedestrians from high-speed vehicles. AV companies will likely lobby for speed limit removals, arguing that computer-controlled cars can handle faster speeds safely. But physics remains unforgiving. High speeds increase the risk and severity of pedestrian and cyclist injuries. Pedestrian bridges might be the only safe crossing method, but these are often expensive, inaccessible, and unpleasant. Pollution and noise. The hidden costs. Electric AVs reduce exhaust emissions but don't solve pollution from tire, brake, and road wear. Heavier, faster cars cause more particulate pollution, which harms respiratory health. Noise pollution, mainly from tires at speeds above 30 km per h, creates stress and health problems. Cities like Oslo with many electric cars still face serious road noise issues. AVs burdened with electronics and driven faster will worsen air quality and noise near highways and city streets, making these places toxic and unlivable. A better way. Lessons from Utrecht. Not all cities need to fall into this trap. Utrecht, Netherlands is a shining example. Similar in size to many North American cities, Utrecht rejected car-centric planning decades ago. They transformed highways back into canals, created pedestrian-only shopping districts, and built excellent public transit and bicycle infrastructure. Car volumes and speeds are low, making walking and cycling safe and enjoyable for all ages and abilities. Conclusion: prioritize people, not cars or technology. Unless we rethink urban design, regulate carefully, and limit car access, AVs will repeat history's mistakes on a new, automated scale. As civil engineers and city planners, we must focus on creating safe, walkable, bikeable, and transit-friendly cities, not just shiny tech solutions. The future should be about fewer cars on our streets, not smarter cars. Because at the end of the day, people buy things, not cars, and vibrant cities are built for people, not machines. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and see you in the next video.